Southward Korea says it will go on top-level negotiations in Polar Korea in precise eyes among world warnings how Pyongyang might be game for period to go on its nuke arms program. The two Koreas over-coordinated to march by a United Korea banner at following monthly's Winter Spartakiada in the Southward. The negotiations go as the U.S. and its allies vowed to hold blood pressure on the polar. On environment, U.S. Registrar of Country Rex Tillerson told sanctions regime were very start to wound, reflecting trust how the blood pressure would ultimately strengthen the polar to the negotiations spreadsheet above its nuke and ballistics rocket programs. As well on environment, Japan Overseas Secretary Taro Kono told the planet should not be dazzled by Pyongyang's latter allure unpleasant. It is not the period to easy blood pressure or to award Polar Korea, Mr. Kono told, Reuters news story agent informed. Same reality how Polar Korea is charming in dialogue could be interpreted as testimony how the sanctions regime are work. We refugee had any considerable betrothal in the latter history, but the is in prospect thou can include all various of theories of why down there are there, at the negotiations. Down there are, apparently, calculations departure on the portion of the Polar Korea judgment makers as to their actions. Yet in the end we include to do the largest of it. Ms. Kung as well told Southward Korea and its allies were really lot on the identical web page concerning the much longer period, the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. And the overseas secretary told Seoul requested more than human aid to be shipped to Polar Korea as sanctions regime were start to get impact. If the plans are implemented, 100-strong Polar Korean deputation, consisting 230 cheerleaders, 140 orchestra musicians and 30 taekwondo athletes, could visit the Winter Spartakiada. It will indicate the discovery of the crucifix borderway for the at first period in nearly 2 years. The two countries include as well coordinated to box a collaborative crew for the kind of sports of females ice hockey. It would be the at first period athletes of both of Koreas include competed along. The games will get location in February in Pyongyang. The Polar has as well coordinated to email a less 150-term deputation to the Paralympics in March. The treaty will include to be adopted by the World Olympic Board, IOC, meet on Sunday, since Polar Korea has skipped register deadlines or unsuccessful to classify. Southward Korea will as well requirement to discover ways to army the Polar Korean deputation out of infringing UN Safety Justice sanctions regime prohibiting cash money transfers to Pyongyang and blacklist specific elder Polar officials. Southward Korea's ice hockey trainer and prudent newspapers include pronounced anxiety on the perspective of a joint ice hockey crew, proverb it could harm Southward Korea's chances of winner a coin. Tens of thousands of human beings are told to include signed on the internet petitions calling CEO Luna Jae-in to piece the schedule. But the permissive lead said Southward Korean Olympic athletes on environment how the Polars' involvement in the games would assist enhance inter-Korean relations. The negotiations came following tensions on the Korean peninsula achieved their highest spot in many decades. Since Polar Korea has done fast woo in its nuke and usual arms programs in latter year. Its newest ballistics rocket testing, in November, sparked a episode of crisp sanctions regime of the UN targeting gasoline shipments and journey. Quickly subsequently Polar Korean lead Kim Jong-un told he was outdoor to dialogue. In a New Year speaking, he told he was examining send a crew to the Winter Spartakiada. The breakout ad how the Polar would be send a deputation came on January 9. It was as well coordinated how a war hotline among the nations, hanging for almost 2 years, would be restored.